everybody, and welcome back to the pre-production meeting. I'm your co-host, Josh Urquhart.
And I'm your other co-host, Daniel Cugola.
And we are back after a little 2-week hiatus. Dan, how are you?
I'm pretty good. I've been quite busy. So which
Compared to last week, where we were actually scheduled to come in and then we realized we had nothing to talk about.
Yes.
And you know what?
Hate when that happens.
That happens. You know, that's only ever happened once or twice, but I think it was just one of those weeks where we were just super busy with everything but film. But it allowed us to have these few weeks to get some shit done. And you said you have some exciting stuff. Do you want to tease a little?
Not particularly.
No?
Not at this point. We'll get into that later. But
never mind then.
what I would like to talk about is the special guest that we have.
We have a special guest. Yes.
So, our guest is a longtime friend and associate of mine.
Associate.
We attended the Academy of Film, Theatre and Television together back in 2018 and 2019. This guest has worked on a multitude of films and shows such as The Dry 2, Force of Nature, Poker Face with Russell Crowe, The Messenger, and Bump Season 3.
Wow.
Yes, he's taken on various roles in the camera department, from first AC to second AC to VTR assistant, and he's directed numerous short films, such as the award-winning film Solace, which won Best Short Film at the Cyrus International Film Festival of Toronto.
Wow.
He is currently focusing on directing and making his way through the industry as a director. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Gianluca Cuscuna.
Woo!
Thank you for having me.
How are you, Gianluca?
I won't lie, I'm a little bit tired,
A little bit tired?
but this coffee's gonna
Pipe
really
you up a
bring me
little.
into it. Yeah,
Is this
yeah.
your first podcast?
It is my first podcast.
It
actually,
is?
So,
How are you feeling?
yeah, I just want to make sure I'm talking into the mic.
Talk into the mic.
Nice and close.
So,
So,
yeah,
you've listened to a couple episodes.
I have.
You know how we go.
I do.
This whole
Dangerous.
podcast is basically a little deep dive into the indie industry. You know, we've all come up together in uni and stuff like that, and we're all trying to do the exact same thing, and we're trying to get on as many people as possible that are on all different walks in life, but, you know, start or are close to where we are. And I think it'll be good, because I think you're quite different to the guests that we've had on before. Is that right, Dan?
Yes.
Yes?
I think it's good what you're doing, because I think you're really demystifying the whole process of like getting into the industry.
Exactly. And I think what we're doing is good for people that are in the industry, because, you know, we have all friends and stuff. Like, there are some people that we know. I'm sure there's people that you know that have no direction. Like, they don't know how they're going to get into the industry. They don't know what really they're, like, kind of
100%.
focusing on. But then it's also good for the people that have no idea. You know, no idea about the industry altogether. But it's good. It's good that you have a different set of skills as to what, like I said, we've had on before as guests. And I think how we're going to do this episode, we're going to interview you a little bit, and then we're going to get back into the normal flow of the podcast, and we'll do our progress. Like you said, yeah, some stuff going on. Can I just say as well, Dan, you're looking big.
Thank you, my friend.
Mate, the games, they're showing. That's what you were doing last week, that while you were in here, just pumping iron.
Every day.
Pumping iron. Well, yeah. All right, let's get into it, Dan. You have
Yeah.
a few questions, and I'll chime in here and there, but take it away.
sure.
You're running this, baby.
Well, why don't we start from the beginning and sort of introduce you to the audience, Gianluca. So you and I went to film school together back in 2018 and 2019. And I want to hear your take on, like, how we met and everything, because I have my perspective of, like, you know, how I met you and, like, my first impressions of you and everything. But I sort of want to hear your take on, like, and I want to know where your passion originated from in, you know, towards film and everything, and how you found yourself at AFTT.
I had an interesting journey of actually, the first time I went overseas, maybe I shouldn't say this over the...
Just do it. I've said much worse on this podcast, brother. We can always edit it.
Yeah, sure. I ended up going to jail.
Ah, rightio.
So, yeah, in the UAE.
Nice.
So,
I was about to say nice.
So like prior to this travel and going to jail and whatnot, I wanted to do graphic design. So like kind of illustrate like backdrops for movies, games, all that kind of thing.
Nice, yeah.
Then I went on this trip, ended up going to jail, and then I heard all these stories and all these people like from like Egypt, from Sudan, from France, like all their stories, and I don't know, like
Inside jail?
yeah, inside
Yeah, right,
jail, just
okay.
like their whole journey, like how they got there and all this kind of thing. And I was like, this is pretty. Like at the time, I'm freaking out for my life, for starters.
Yeah.
not going to say why I was in jail.
Were you born here?
I was born here.
Born, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So then you went over there for a holiday or something?
Yeah, it's just a holiday.
Sure, all good. Yeah.
And yeah, then after I got out, I was like, I feel like, one, I wanted to write my own story. Like I just noted down everything that happened. Oh, I was in jail for a day, prison for 7 nights.
Right, okay.
So,
yeah.
Very, I guess a traumatizing
Experience.
I can imagine.
But
It set you on a new path,
yeah,
I'm guessing.
it was like really eye-opening.
Yeah.
And like something that wasn't like, oh, like I'm going to, hide this from the world kind of thing. It was like something that I really kind of took on.
Yeah.
And then from that, I'm just like, well, I want to like learn how to write stories. I want to learn how to bring the visual to that medium. So yeah, I worked with a guy called Giovanni Paccialea, who is the founder of Benchmark Media. He was one of the first ADs on Star Wars Attack of the Clones
Wow.
Right.
and The Matrix. So yeah, he was an old family friend of mine.
Yep.
But yeah, he was hard ass, and he kind of gave it to me from the get-go. It's like the film industry is cutthroat.
Yeah.
He goes, either you're 110% or you're dead kind of thing. Like you won't last long.
Yeah.
Far out.
And I'm
How
there.
did that make you feel when you heard that?
I was just kind of going over my head. I'm like,
Yeah.
It always
whatever.
does,
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
this guy's talking shit. Blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. He's like, yeah, I would cut my director's like sandwich in half and like have the bacon like perfectly folded and shit.
God.
I'm like, man, I ain't doing this.
Holy shit, mate.
So yeah, that was that. And then we worked on a couple gigs together. Like he's mainly in the commercial world.
Sure.
But like also kind of food documentaries, like does a lot of stuff for SBS, ABC. But yeah, again, that was more on the technical side. So yeah, didn't want to exactly be in camera yet. So he was like, I was going to go to JMC,
yeah?
like start off. Then I
Yep.
saw the price of that. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like,
Trust me, I'm starting to see the price now.
Oh, yeah. That hex just keeps
but
going up.
it was just too broad as well. He's like, you want to do film. He goes, you don't want to do this, you don't do this, you don't do this. Because there's like so many elements to JMC when you start. So I was like, all right, let's cut all that out.
Yep.
So in comes AFTT. So yeah, he kind of set me on that course and yeah, went to uni.
Yeah, nice.
In which the first year, like me and Danny.
We didn't really know each other. Hey, I saw you a
Yeah.
couple of times. You know when I first took note of you? Do you remember when we had that meeting where it was all the classes combined? Because like some equipment broke and we had to all pay like a little bit to
Oh
replace
my
it.
God.
And I remember you just sitting there complaining about it, being like, "What the hell is this?
fuck?
I'm not
What-
paying."
what happened?
And I was like, "I like this guy."
What happened?
It was
Oh,
ludicrous. It
Some
was ludicrous.
equipment broke on someone's set,
And they
then
made you guys pay for it.
They were like, "Oh, like I think we had to take a vote on whether like everyone was gonna-
vote?
Yeah, on whether like everyone was gonna chip in.
Democracy.
Or, like, what?
Democracy.
the fuck, man? And what everybody decided, let's chip
Yeah,
in.
we were like, look, let's just get this over with and just put in like a little bit each. I think that's what happened, right?
Yeah. I can't remember what broke exactly.
Yeah, I
But-
think it was some. Oh yeah, I can't remember.
But it was something obviously expensive.
Yeah,
They had to
right.
Kick up a stink about
Yeah,
it.
for sure.
So, yeah, that was definitely a problem. But yeah, just the fact that they all just like, it's like they forced us to be like, you're going to have to pay for this. And I
Yeah.
was like, well, hold on a minute. Like at least let us talk about it first. Like,
That's
What broke?
ridiculous. Yeah,
on
right.
what set, like you can't have us all accountable for it. It
Wow.
was like, I think it was during the docos. So it was like maybe like 6 people per each crew.
Wait, did we
Yeah.
do docos? I don't think we
Yeah.
did docos at AFT.
Yeah, it would have been like right at the beginning. It was like a really short
Or
thing.
first
and we
year
had
or
the
second
actors.
year. I
First
thought it
year.
was the end of first year.
Not first.
So you guys, your
Oh.
course was 2 years as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So going into AFTT, did you know what you wanted to specialize in?
No.
Or you went in there to find your
The
route?
first year, no, I was just kind of sussing it out,
Yeah, right.
looking at everything, seeing how things work,
Yep.
listening to the lecturers and the teachers, seeing what their takes were.
Mm.
Majority of the time I was writing. I was really interested in writing.
Yep.
And then I kind of delved into that. I'm like, writing is a whole nother thing.
Yeah, it is.
Writing's fucked.
Mm,
It's just time consuming.
it is.
And yeah, you can go down really dark holes.
You can.
Yeah, absolutely.
So-
I hate writer's block, like when you just get stuck, and it's not like anything else. I like production because it keeps moving, and you're forced to face your issues. But in writing, you can just get stuck for days, weeks, whatever.
Fuck. So when did you get into camera? Was that during AFTT as well, or was that more afterwards?
So it was during the end of AFTT, and I
Yeah.
was on the afters notice board, and a producer reached out, and because I got told through a couple of like Brian for
Yeah.
starters, love
Yep.
Brian.
Bloody
great.
Brian. Shout
Shout out
out Brian. Wow.
Brian was like the guy another one of like, I guess just like a good mentor on just like how the film industry works.
Yep.
Just like hard ass, to the point, no fucking around kind of thing. So yeah, taught us some really valuable skills.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he was one of the people that said, look, the industry doesn't require certificates. They don't give a fuck
They
about
don't.
Yeah.
So,
Not at all, mate.
like, unless you want to really get into writing and you want like a writing certificate or something like that, then sure. But everything else, like, you just experience, like, get on set.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what it is. So yeah.
What was it like with your parents in terms of convincing them of that? Because my parents are quite traditional, and you know, when I told them that the certificate doesn't matter, they didn't really understand. Were yours kind of like that, or they sort of understood
That's
what
a
you
good
were
question, actually. Yeah.
I don't think they were too fast. Like, I was still working a fair bit,
Yeah.
like during uni as well.
What were you
So,
doing?
Construction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
right.
yeah, I would work Friday nights and Sunday nights as
Jeez.
well. Yeah, doing 6 till 6,
Jeez.
and then because the hex, the interest,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I kind of gave uni a deal. I'm just like, look, I'll pay half now and then half during the middle of the course.
Okay.
So, because otherwise I would have had to pay like 6K in like interest. I'm like, you guys are
Yeah.
kidding? Like, no way. Like,
Yeah.
no. so yeah, that was that.
Yeah.
And then after uni, is that when you more got camera jobs and stuff like that?
Like again, like got onto that. So from the afters notice board. Sorry, I was jumping around.
That's all good.
Yeah, got onto that Streets of Colour film,
Yes.
which screened 3 months ago.
Streets of what?
Streets of Colour.
Streets of Colour.
What's that? Is
It's
that
a
a short?
feature film
feature?
that me and John worked on.
feature film.
Right.
together.
And it only screened a couple months ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So
When did you film it?
2019, 2020.
Wow. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, long.
Long process. Hey.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So yeah, just jumped on that as art, props
Nice,
assistant,
nice.
set dresser. So yeah, in the
Use some of your construction abilities in that department, or no?
yes. So yeah, just it was good to be on set. Like the DOP, who
Yep.
was another great mentor of mine.
I was gonna
Shout out
say,
Zachary.
yeah.
You have a lot of
Dornberger.
mentors. That's good.
Yes.
Some people don't have that, like, especially like me myself. I wish I had mentors, and it's like, what about like you? I think you said some of your mentors were family friends and then others. How did you get yourself into the position? Sorry, this is me sidetracking. How did you get yourself into the position to get with those mentors? Because I know Lexi's got a mentor now, and I think they're very important in the industry,
Yeah.
and especially like us. Bro, they never mentioned mentors at all in uni. They didn't mention a lot in uni. But I think my question for you is, how important are mentors, and how do you get yourself in that kind of position to, I don't know, talk to one? Because they're important.
Like, just be honest.
Yeah?
Like, just you need to snuff them out.
Yeah.
You need to see, like, kind of like you want to know where you want to go, and just ask the right questions, but then show you're willing to learn. And like, majority of the time, like if they don't have like someone that they're kind of taking on, they'll take you on, because if they see the drive, then they'll bring you in.
And how many mentors do you reckon you have right now?
Probably 3.
Sorry?
Probably 3 good
Are these
ones.
people that you keep in touch with regularly, or
Yeah.
just every now and then?
Yeah.
Pretty
Regularly?
regularly.
But like, sorry, maybe I lied. Like one, like Zach, who I just put up before, who was a DOP for Streets of Colour. He's now in LA shooting.
Yep.
But yeah, he was one of like my mentors. Like just like again, he worked on like Great Gatsby and Prometheus and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, he's done some big stuff.
Amazing.
I think it has to be organic as well, in the sense that like if you and that mentor just get along, then it makes it a lot easier.
It's like,
to
where do
work
you
together.
find them?
I think it's just within the industry. Like you go and work, and then you happen to meet someone,
Yeah.
and then you start collaborating. Right? Would you say the same?
Yeah. So like on Streets of Colour,
Yeah.
like where I met Zach, again, he was a DP, and you know, I'll just like be really close to set, be really close to him, because I just feel like he was the guy who knew what was going on all the time, and just he would direct, and just he would just know where actors should be, lights and everything. I'm like, okay, this guy has so much knowledge, like stay close to him, listen to him. And yeah, eventually I think it was like on one of the last days, I think you were there as well. We went right out to like Picton Ways or something like that. But yeah, it was on the last days of shoot. And yeah, I just went up to Zach and I'm like, look, I really want to get into camera. I want to be on set more, and I think you have the right, you have the right drive. Like, can I learn with you, kind of thing. And he was like, oh, if you're interested, blah blah blah.
So you went from there, and then you've got some pretty good credits, mate. Like, tell us about some of those experiences on working on the films that you have.
Anyone in particular?
Dan?
We'll talk about The Dry, because that's a pretty big film. I feel like.
That
Tell us
just
about
came
your
out
role.
recently, didn't it? Number
It's
2?
not out. I think it's like just about to drop.
Yeah, just about
Force
to
of
drop.
Nature, I think it's coming out in November.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, very very keen on this one.
Yep.
Yeah.
AC? You were AC on most of these projects.
I was actually
right?
truck loader.
Really?
So what is
Nice.
truck loader?
Truck loader is like, well, it's not like, it is
Loading the trucks?
loading the truck is obviously part of it.
There's more to a truck loader.
It's just making sure your day-to-days
Yep.
are running smooth.
Yeah,
From
cool.
batteries to
Yep.
Right.
all the equipment, camera equipment.
Yep.
Like your sticks, your head, like it's clean. Just being on set and like helping out your second AC, helping out your first AC, just so their workload is not as hard.
It's interesting. I didn't actually know there was a dedicated role.
And
for that,
yeah.
for that.
you know, it's funny because it's like you would never think that those niche things exist
Yeah.
when you're working on the indie films that we do.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
You don't need it.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
You don't. And then you get to these bigger productions, and
You need it.
how was that experience for you?
It was fantastic. But
Yeah.
yeah, you're the first one there though, and
Yeah.
the last one there, because you're packing up everything. You just,
Yeah.
You're a database. You're a database, and
Yeah,
you need to
right.
know what's going on. Because the first AC and the second AC, they're just walking off. They're doing their jobs. So
Yeah.
you need to make sure that everything that they need, they have.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask your opinion, because I know you've worked under some pretty cutthroat people. You know, some people who are quite old school, and they have a very specific way of doing things, and they're, what is your opinion in terms of, like, do you think that it's more efficient and more professional to be very cutthroat, or do you think a more relaxed way of working is better and more optimal?
Ooh, yeah.
Look, it's the classic theory that I always bring up, which Damien Chazelle
Yes.
My guy.
brings up in Whiplash.
Yeah.
And it's that the old school way of teaching, which is like, don't give them nothing. Just like, not that you get treated like shit, but like there's no good job. It's just like keep pushing.
Yeah.
Keep pushing. Everything has to be to the point. There's
Yeah.
no I think. Like with one first I see that I worked with, if I said I think, he's like looking at me like, what do you mean you think? And I'm like,
Yeah, right.
he's like, I need to know to the point.
Yeah.
Like, is it 5600 kelvins or is it 36? And I'm like, no, I think it was like 55.
You
or something like
think?
that.
Yeah.
There I am scrolling on the phone.
Oh,
So-
fuck.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so what would you say is a better?
It's a hard question to answer, isn't it?
It's
'Cause
a,
there's
it's
no
a hard
right
question
answer, but-
because like in the 14 weeks that I worked with, like this first I see that was like hard ass old school. Like I learnt a fuck ton
Yeah.
that I probably learnt within, like what I learned in 14 weeks. I progressed a lot more than what I learned in a year and a half.
Sure.
So
Yeah, there you go.
still like there's
But that being said, right, like you sort of, after that year and a half of working like that, you've taken a step away, right? So would you say
Yeah.
long term it's very difficult to retain that and stay in that?
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
exactly.
Like mentally, it's a big weight
Exactly.
on your
yeah.
shoulders.
And so again, I'm just going to jump in when I
Yeah,
can.
go for it.
And so you've worked on The Dry, you've worked on Bump as well. These bigger productions, right? And I get asked this a lot by people that are not in the industry. That jump from working on indie projects to these bigger productions, especially, okay, it's hard if you want to. Okay, you know what? I'll leave that for another question. How do you make that jump? And how do you get on those bigger sets for people that want to?
Commitment,
Yeah.
hard work, commitment. Like again, Streets of Color. Talked with Zach.
Networking, right?
yeah.
Is that all it is? Just networking.
I worked with him for 8 months for free.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So yeah, anytime there was an odd job that came up, I'd cancel everything and just straight work with
yeah.
him.
Wow.
Just bust ass.
Right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So, and that it all comes down to networking then, right?
It's like obviously who you know, but you need to prove yourself.
Yeah.
Of course.
And yeah, in an industry, especially in Sydney where it's a bit smaller
Yeah.
than America or England or Canada, 100%. Because there always might be another underdog that wants to take your spot.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's very competitive.
We actually said
Very
that
competitive.
on the Fetty podcast, another thing. And this will lead into the next question, actually. But so when you're working on those, like, those, not secondary roles, but like those roles that have a niche, like AC and stuff like that, AD, it's easier to kind of get on those bigger sets and stuff. But if you want to be a director, right, and you want to get on those bigger sets to get experience, it would be harder to find anything other than like a director's assistant or maybe an AD to get experience or something like that. But maybe you can tell us, you know, if you wanted to be a director, right, you know, you have your AC, you want to get AC jobs, but if you want to be a director and get experience on those sets, what role would you recommend? And also, has this kind of influenced by any sense your decision to kind of pick up directing now? Why did you make that jump to directing as well now that you've worked all this time on like in-camera department?
I think that's a very good question because that is something I'm going through right now.
Yeah.
And it's finding that assistant director's role.
Yes.
Like even during my time in camera, like working on that 14-week shoot, which was The Messenger
Yeah.
for ABC, I'd stay really close to the directors.
Yes.
As much as I could. Sometimes I'd even get told off.
Well, it's hard though, isn't it? Because you have to be doing a different job,
Yeah.
but you want to be near where you want to end up.
Yeah. So like just from leaving uni, like I knew I wanted to direct,
Yep.
you know, like at a pretty high level.
Yep.
And I felt like, and also listening to as well, to Zach, as a DP, his wife is a director, and he was like to me, look, she is a great writer and a great director, but her time on set is like nil.
Really? On her sets?
No, well, just like in general.
In
like,
general, right.
Obviously on her set she works,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like
yeah.
as a director, like you want to be focusing on the creative.
Yes. That's what we've been talking about the last couple of weeks. as
Yes,
well.
and that's sort of why I've changed my direction recently as well.
Yeah.
Because I realized like if you're I wanted to just be on film sets all the time because that's what
Yep.
I love. But if you're making your way up in the camera department, you're not really proving that you can do anything as
Direct.
a director. You need to make films and show that you can direct if you want to
If you want to direct,
Yeah.
direct, you know. But then there's other things like AD, like you just said, you've picked up. How are you finding that?
Wait, AD.
You said, oh, well, there's a difference between assistant director
Oh, what
and
did I say?
director's assistant.
Oh, sorry,
They're two
my
different
bad,
things.
my bad,
That's
my
is that
bad.
what you were talking about before?
Yeah, sorry, DA.
Sorry,
Yeah,
DA.
it's two
Sorry,
different
I was
roles,
so
yeah.
AD,
No, no.
DA.
No,
Yeah,
you're
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, sorry, just going back to like, yeah, like you want to focus on the creative.
Yes.
And Zach was like, look, like you want to have more time on set to know how things work. Because then as a director, you know, like, yeah, you want to focus on the creative, but if you have knowledge of how a set works, like, again, like you want to buy as much time as you can on set because like your days will just shoot past. And like, I've seen directors freak the fuck out because they're not getting the whole shot list that they need to do
Yep.
in time. And they're just like panicking and freaking out and the AD's fucking yelling and there's fucking coffee going everywhere. Bloody coffee cups in set, in shot. Here we has it in shot. So yeah, like it can be a mess. And then other directors are just cool, calm and collective because they know the set. They know how, like they have a really good, they have good chemistry with their AD and they can run the day smoothly. But the thing is, they may not get all the shots on the list, like, but in their head, with the time that they spend doing the shots, like they can edit.
They know what they can cut. Yeah.
Yeah, they know what's needed, what's not needed, and that's very important. So Zach was like, get on set and just learn everything: grips, camera, lighting, what is needed, what's not needed, your art department, set dressing.
Right. And
Okay.
is that why you went into the camera department to start off with, just to familiarize yourself with everything?
Like, look,
basically?
like I liked camera,
Yeah.
but after a while, like it becomes
Robotic.
like you are a technician at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Not a creative.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and DOP is a creative technician.
Yeah, but like your truck loaders, your second
Yes,
ACs,
correct.
first, your,
Yes.
your camera operators.
Yeah.
Camera operators have a bit of, creative. Oh, actually, I lie. The first AC does have creative control sometimes. Rack and focus at
Yep.
certain times of in beats. For actors and actresses.
Especially on The Office.
Yeah,
Man.
classic. you know. So
Most creative ACs of all time. But so in your AC kind of career, you've worked on some, like we said, some pretty high stuff. What are some challenges, stuff that you've come across, and maybe some bad experiences on set as an AC that maybe
bad experiences.
Yeah.
On set.
Or funny experiences?
I feel like every day is a bad day.
Oh my god! Yeah, don't get into the film industry, guys. Fuck.
every day is a challenge.
Oh,
every day is a
fuck.
challenge.
Wow.
But like, I shouldn't have said in such a bad way. It's hard. It's hard on the soul, but it's also really fun because it's such a good challenge.
Yeah.
So, yeah. There's just when you think you've worked it out or you have a good system, something will just come along and just fuck you up. So
Do you have any particular stories that come to mind? I know you told me that one about the little screw that dropped down.
God.
Go on, mate.
So we're shooting at Manly Dam. I didn't realize that Manly had a dam.
Yep.
And we're an hour overtime on a 14-hour day.
Yep.
And the sun's gone down and we can't see. And we're on this grated ledge. And so if you drop something, it's gone. There's no picking it up. Like the dam drops like 100 meters or something like that. And of course it starts to rain. Like, fuck's sake. It's just one thing up to the other. So truck loader has to go get the
truck loader.
I was second AC on this one, so
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
holding the camera. The first AC is yelling at me, you know, where's the wet weather bag and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the wet weather bag comes over. And then the DOP yells out, all right, I want to go handheld now. So easy rig on. And then we needed, for some reason, my first AC just could not leave the eye bolt where the easy rig attaches to.
Right.
He couldn't leave it on the camera for some reason. It always had to be attached manually, just for his peace of mind. I don't know.
Fuck.
Anyway, truck loader brings over the eye bolt to me, and I give it to him, and he's like I'm trying to put the arms on, like the easy rig arms, on top of the camera. So I'm doing that, and he's trying to screw on the eye bolt, and it's pissing down rain. The wet weather bag's freaking going everywhere, and his hand, like he tells me to hold the camera while I'm still trying to. I know this is a bit hard to imagine, but the arms aren't screwed on properly, and he tries to flip the camera, and the arms go down, and the eye bolt just goes ding. And just hear ding, ding, all the way down.
Into the dam.
Yeah, into the dam. And the person he was looking at me, he's like, tell me that wasn't a fucking eyeball. I'm just looking at him, I'm like, oh, fuck. Yeah, and then the DP's like, where's the camera? Where's the camera? It's like, losing light, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, fuck. Anyway, truck loader's like, I think there's a spare one in the truck, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Anyway, he comes back and he's running back with another eye bolt. And it had to be cut out of like this really annoying plastic bag. I don't know what kind of plastic it is, but you cannot. Like, it's really hard to tear.
Yeah.
Anyway, he tries to get his scissors and it slips out of his hands. Goes down the dam.
Shit, mate.
Oh my god! So yeah, that was one of the experiences.
But you eventually got it on there and kept going.
Yeah, like the first I see is just like ripping at the bag, freaking bashing it and stuff until we could finally get the eyeball out, screwed it on. Yeah, we got the shot. 2 hours overtime.
It just doesn't sound like fun. we
We're
really
really
aren't
selling
selling
it.
the film industry to the people who are really good.
No,
Hey,
like, it's great. Like when the actors,
it's great. It's great.
when the actors get into it, like
Yeah.
like working with Sam Neill.
Yes,
Like,
that's
he was-
right. You've worked with some crazy actors as well.
Yeah, on the 12, like even though he forgot a lot of his lines,
Wow, really?
I was really surprised with. But when he delivered them, like perfection.
Yeah.
Like he's just
There's
so
a certain
in character.
there's a certain like magic you feel in the air,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
When an actor
like,
is just
his
in their
presence.
Insane, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like next level.
Yeah.
It's a shame that the 12, I don't know, it's a bit boring.
Yeah. There you
Not gonna
go.
lie.
You worked with Russell Crowe as well, right?
Yeah, Russell
How was
Crowe.
that?
Oh,
Oh,
it was good.
what was that?
no, no,
what
he-
was that reaction for, Gianluca?
No, he's
He's a hard ass, isn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah, he's another one who's like his
Yeah.
presence is like felt
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
room. It's like, all right, Russell's on set. It's like A game time.
Yeah.
I was even listening to a podcast with Russell Crowe on, and he was saying how much of a hard ass he is on set and stuff. He sounded like a nightmare to work with him.
No, I wouldn't say a nightmare. I wouldn't say a nightmare.
No,
he
no.
was just like as like in the film that I worked on with him, he was directing.
Right. What was it?
And acting. It was called Poker Face.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. My bad.
So-
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I actually haven't seen the film. Is it out yet?
It is.
It is out.
It is. Yeah.
Okay.
Came out earlier this year, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a Stan.
It was a Stan one, yep.
But yeah, just very much no fucking around. Everyone doing their jobs kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's just funny. Like the first time I saw him, it was like 5 a.m. in the morning at the Museum of Sydney, and this guy just like sprints around the corner. He's got a bit of weight to him. This is, I'm just waiting for a coffee, kind of thing. He keeps coming close, and he's like sweating. He's doing this. I'm like, who's this guy? Anyway,
Who's this sweaty boy.
yeah, there's a massive beard on him and blah blah blah. And I'm like, holy fuck, that's fucking Russell Crowe. And then just out of instinct, I was like, morning, Russell. And he's looking at me, he's like, morning. He's like, kept walking his set. I'm like, I'm expecting Russell Crowe to be dropped off in a like Mercedes Benz, straight to set.
Yeah.
And he's like panting around the corner. Freaking, like he was sweating.
Damn.
He was sweating.
There you go.
Yeah, like again, on set, like when he delivered his lines, like amazing.
Yeah.
Not exactly the film that I would have liked to seen him in. Like Gladiator would have been fucking sick to see.
Yeah.
Russell
Yeah,
Crowe in,
for sure.
you know, some battle
100%.
stages. So that would have been cool.
I just wanted to ask you one more question about your AC work before I think we'll go into your directing stuff. But do you think, like, you have to invest in yourself as an AC, right?
Mm-hmm.
So did you find that you had to invest quite a lot of money into buying your own gear and stuff? Because that's something that sort of deterred me away from the camera department a little bit.
Mate, but directing you have to invest way more as well.
Yeah.
Your
You're
soul.
funding your own movies.
I guess that
Your
is true.
soul.
Yeah.
Well, fun fact about the film industry: tax.
Yeah.
You can claim a lot back.
Yeah,
and a lot of it is like 75 to 100% tax back, or
Yeah.
at least 50%, which is enough because, again, our industry is very niche.
Yes.
And which means the cost of our gear is very fucking expensive. So,
Yeah.
but and only certain places sell our type of stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about George's cameras in the city or DigiDirect or something like that.
Yeah.
You have to go like John Barry Sales or like Panavision or
Panavision,
something
yeah.
like that. And stuff that you can only get from like overseas as well, because some bolts we use are like metric. Sorry, or not metric, meaning that we need to buy stuff from America, like all their tools and stuff like that, which is a bit fucking ridiculous. But yeah, like in terms of like I wouldn't say I spent that much, especially like when you work on a full production. Like if you're not doing dailies, they give you majority of your gear.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they like production pays for majority of it, and if you need more stuff like tape or
Yeah.
cleaning
Production's
equipment,
got,
they'll throw it at you.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's only when you're like working on commercials or music videos, you want your own stuff. 'Cause,
Yes,
most music production videos or TVCs are like, well, this is your problem, mate. So
Yeah.
There you go. I have a question before we get into the directing stuff. So you're telling us experiences about being on these big sets and stuff. Are you still doing indie projects, like when they pop up, or not really?
it depends. Like for you guys, like for Danny, like I'm always down to help out.
Yeah.
I love seeing what's the next thing that's going on.
Exactly. Yeah,
what-
for sure.
What the new people got inside their heads.
What's the biggest difference? But I mean, obviously the experience wise. But is there something you prefer more in indie sets compared to these big professional sets that you've been working on?
Indie sets, you can have more of a laugh.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the intimate crew is a lot more fun. Like especially when we did like our short films in uni.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
You know,
that was so fun because the stakes are lower. I think that's the reason.
The stakes are lower. So sometimes the ego gets in there because everyone's
Yeah.
trying to like really build something amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
But you always get humbled eventually at some stage.
What do you prefer?
But on a big set, in terms of like time efficiency and actually like things
Yeah,
being
things
done,
getting done properly. Yeah, for sure, mate.
yeah, and like again like actors, like I love
Yeah.
watching actors act. They're just amazing.
And that's spoken like a true director. So I think we go into the directing now.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Go
I
for
wanted
it.
to talk about the sort of films that you want to make. So you like crime sort of drama films, is that
Yeah.
correct? Like
Crime.
noir.
Yeah, film noir is definitely, or I'll say neo noir
Yeah.
is definitely a big one.
Yeah,
Thrillers, crime, drama. That's my kind of niche.
Who were some of your inspirations?
I think early on, just definitely would have been Scorsese or Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
So obviously in their earlier works.
Yeah, nice.
Christopher Nolan now, I don't know where he's kind of going in his direction.
James Bond. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, like
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about
look,
that.
his movies are always amazing, even if the story's like not 110%.
Oh, 100%.
Like
you
he-
can appreciate it.
Yeah.
Like he's just
Yeah,
so
for sure.
immersive. Like he'll just bring you into the story.
Yep.
Even if it was a story about fucking some guy selling his fridge, he'd make it freaking.
He'll tell it
Yeah.
backwards somehow, mate.
He'll start chopping it up.
Exactly.
I think he knows how to find the humanity in a high concept. You know what I mean? Something
Yeah.
like Inception, which is on such a grand scale, but there's just like this sense of humanity and, deep within it that really makes you
Yeah.
care about it as an audience.
So yeah, obviously, great influences and inspirations in that sort of genre. Looking at Boon Jong-ho.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that right?
Bun Joon-ho, yeah. Parasite.
Still haven't seen Parasite.
Gotta watch it.
Yeah, the
Do you-
Korean Film Festival was just recent. I missed it again.
Yeah.
Do you like Snowpiercer?
Haven't seen Snowpiercer either.
Oh, man.
Okja?
Nope.
Is that what it's called?
I don't know how you say it,
Okja?
but I know
Okja?
the movie.
Yeah. So
But-
what do you like about Bun Joon-ho?
Memories of Murder.
Okay,
right.
right.
Memories of
Yeah,
Murder.
fair.
It's a great one in which Fincher was inspired from as well
Okay.
for his Zodiac film.
Right.
It's about like 3 different detectives, and you got the corrupt one. You have the one who wants to do the job right,
Yeah.
and then you just have the one who's just like, I don't really know, don't really care.
Yeah, right.
And it's just them trying to find this killer, and they just can't find the killer. And
Right.
you're getting more pissed off as the movie goes on, but like in a good way, because you want to catch this guy.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm not going to spoil it,
Don't.
but do they catch it or do they not?
It's
No.
not like we spoil stuff all the time on here.
Never.
Exactly. Now, you did mention to us before the podcast, you've gone back to study.
Yeah.
Yes, to study writing and stuff. And I think I want to match this to the next question is the way that you've got, your route into the industry to where you are now, right? From AC to directing, back to studying and writing. Would you change anything along the way to maybe, was there any regrets that maybe you've had on your way to get where you are now? And then at the end of that, tell us a little bit about what you're studying and where you are.
I wouldn't say regrets of how, like, if I had to do it again,
Yeah.
I'd go straight for a production company and just work my way up.
Right. In the camera department?
Nah, just as a production
Just
assistant.
as a production assistant.
Really? Why is that?
In terms of, like, just for directing wise, because all the creative side is within the production company. Like, you
Yeah.
need to do like all the admin and all like your producer stuff. Again, that's also part of directing. Directing is like wearing many hats.
Yep.
And like the more knowledge you have, the better director you're going to be.
For sure.
So
Yeah, so I
That's
guess as a
obviously
PA,
a plus.
you get to be on those sets and
Yeah,
see things without
exactly.
like specializing in something that you
Exactly.
didn't particularly
But
want
again,
to
you'll be there because again, the director will not spend that much time on set.
Yeah.
Like he will do majority of the plan. Like
Pre-prod.
the shoot days. Quote
Yeah.
Brian.
Yeah.
The shoot days are for shooting
Yes.
and not trying to fucking. Maybe this light will work better. It's like no, we don't have fucking time.
Yeah.
We gotta shoot. We're
What,
shooting.
what about the actors? When you get onto those bigger sets, you don't have time to rehearse and stuff like that. For those bigger things, you would expect the director to be on set, no?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
again, it depends. Like for the TV shows.
Yeah,
like
sure.
Bump
Sure.
or what was the other one? Or like The Messenger. Like there's not real much time for rehearsing. Like,
Yeah.
actors will get lucky if they get
Yeah,
a
that's
rehearsal.
That's crazy because now the stuff that we're working on, mate, we have all the time in the world to rehearse. I can't imagine not rehearsing. That's a whole different skill that you
Yeah.
have to learn, I'm guessing, when you're...
Like the actors will rehearse their lines beforehand, or like
Yeah.
like in pre-pro, the director's
Yeah.
gone through just about everything, and it's
Right,
what I was getting
yes.
to. So in pre-pro, like that's where all the work
Yeah.
gets done.
100%.
So it's just a bit obvious that one.
Yeah, of course.
No, but I think people really underestimate how much work you can get done in pre-production.
And the power of rehearsals, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane. Like, I mean, some, like, even people that we work with don't understand how important rehearsals are. And they get to set day and they have no idea what they're doing.
I always sometimes wonder if there's such thing as over-rehearsing, though. Like, if
I'm
you
sure
go over
there
the
is.
lines...
I'm sure 100% there is.
Yeah.
But, like, to be prepared is one thing and then to over-rehearse is another, I guess.
Yeah, of course, 100%.
Like,
You want to rehearse just like I don't know, this is my directing take.
go for it.
I feel like you want to rehearse just enough so you get the beats right.
Yeah.
You get the overall like arch of what the scene, you know, like what is happening in the scene. And then once you get that kind of gist, you know, kind of play around with it just a little bit. So yeah, like medium rare,
Yeah.
not well done.
And
And then,
yeah. Sorry, go.
sorry. And then once you put the actor within the scene, so within the environment of the scene, then you kind of let them allow them to play around, touch, smell.
100%. And I think that goes into like deep diving into who the character is as well in rehearsals. Like it's not just rehearsing the beats and stuff, but it's also, you know, you're talking to them deep about their character, and you're right. You rehearse the basics, like the beats, the arc, everything, and then you allow them to play in their sandbox that you've created and stuff like that.
Exactly.
I truly agree. Let's bring it back. Your writing. What are you doing now? What are you starting in?
I've written about 5 scripts in which every time I give them to Zach or my other mentor, in which I haven't brought up yet, which is Simone Neviani, who's in Vancouver at the moment. So yeah, I'd always send them off, and every time I just get freaking belted. Like, this
Really?
Shit.
Wow.
Not-
so they
not in
don't
that
hold
way.
back. Nah, good.
Because,
that's what you need,
like,
brother.
look,
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna invest 15, 30K at a bare minimum, like you want to make sure it's good.
That's what I always say. Yeah.
So yeah, if it's not good enough, then it's not good enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Again, like in saying that, like each script you build, like you take away something, yeah. Or you may like a certain scene, you can add that to another part of another script. So
And the thing is, you want to tear apart that script because you can actually change the outcome at that point, right? If you're, you know, halfway through the film filming it and you realize that the story is terrible, you can't really save it. I mean, sometimes, you know, they save Star Wars in the edit, but like, you know what I mean?
Which one? Which Star Wars did they save?
Episode 4, A New Hope.
Oh, really?
Do you not know about that?
I do not.
Oh, they cut out like an hour's worth of content.
Really?
Yeah, there's like a whole hour of Luke on Tatooine that they cut out.
Really?
Yeah, like George Lucas's wife restructured the whole film and made it work. Yeah.
You learn something new every day, huh?
Yeah.
George Lucas's wife actually, shout out.
Yeah, she was an editor. Yeah.
Let's go.
She saved the film. So. Oh yeah, I wanted to ask about your films. Do you think that like the kind of films that you want to make, like crime, noir stuff, do you think that would fit into the climate of what's being made within Australia right now? And if not,
Australia, I'm sorry, Australia makes shit films.
Fucking tell me about it, eh?
Compared to the rest of the world, I don't know what we're doing.
I don't know what we're doing either.
And like, I can't blame the writers, but I'm blaming
The people that fund the films, because they only give money to a specific kind of fucking film.
I think what it is that they want to play it safe. That there's a certain established films that are being created, and they don't want to stray away from that because they're afraid that it's not going to make money. But they need to take.
I think that they're, and I've said this over and over again, and like fair enough, them giving funding to the same people for the same stories. I think they're trying to push. It's
safe.
Yeah. They're trying to push Australian stories too much. Like
we are Australian.
Yeah,
right?
I know, but like you just said, the quality is just not up to the standard.
I think there are some good Australian films.
Yeah, like, and I'm talking like 10%.
Yeah.
Of films that are made are like actually quality.
Yeah.
Like, what was that one about the hitman?
The show.
Yeah.
Mr. In Between.
Mr. In Between.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
Yes. Fantastic.
I mean, The Dry was good as well.
The Dry, I still haven't seen The Dry.
Oh, it's quite good.
But I've heard it's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit slow, but still, whatever.
It
It has
is what it is.
some quality about it.
Yeah.
Of course, like George Miller making Furiosa. That's always going to be good.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
done Mad Max, 4 times now. So.
True. That's what I mean. Like, they'll throw as much money at him because they know that he can make something good.
Freaking 26 cameras.
Jesus Christ. 26.
Yeah.
That's nuts. Did you work on that or no?
Nah.
Nah.
But you know people that did, right?
Fucking nuts.
All those, like, they have these little red Komodo cameras, which are just like crash cams. They're like all these cars, like 100 cars driving out in the middle of the fucking desert and they're just blowing shit up. Man, George Miller would just be like, whoa. Furiosa, man. It's crazy.
Yes, so we were just talking about how hard it is to get your films funded. So I'm guessing the films that you want to make don't fit the climate. Is that right?
It will be very, much self-funded.
But that was like me with Ozma. I'm like, I am not going to get funded for 1890s British fucking Victorian era like adaptation. There's no way.
Period piece, yeah.
Fantasy period piece just not fucking happening.
There was that show, £10 Poms.
Oh yeah.
What happened to that? Another Australian
It
show.
came out.
Yeah, well,
Did it?
Is it good?
I don't know.
Anyone?
Nothing. We don't hear about them as well. Just all go straight on to Stan.
Yeah.
Ah, well. Anyways, so I think, did you want to add anything else before we move on?
No, I'm good. Do you have any last thoughts you'd like to share before we move on to the next segment, John?
Oh, yeah. What's some advice maybe you can give people that were maybe wanted to, you know, we've said this the last couple of weeks as well, like maybe want to be a director. Would you say take the same route as you did?
I'd just say just look at, if you really want to direct, like, and you have a group of friends, just shoot. You just have to make movies.
You do.
It's like the classic Quentin Tarantino thing. Just make a film, man. Make a film, and it's gonna be shit.
Exactly.
It's gonna be shit. Maybe try and fix it in the edit. But then
Try and fix it in the edit.
if not,
Fix it in post, guys.
move on to the next one. Move on to the next one.
Amazing. I think it's interesting because we've talked about writing styles in the past. Do you find your story as you write, or are you a pre-planner kind of guy?
Balanced.
Yeah.
A bit of both. There has to be some planning. Yeah. I feel like for me, you have to know where you're going with the story, or just like a rough place of where you want to end at, and then you write to that level.
Right.
At the end of the day, some like where you want to end up may have completely changed. It might be better, it might be worse.
Yeah.
But if you try to navigate
For sure.
down that river, then you may find
Something.
a lot of gold, or you might find where you end up in Apocalypse Now. Right? Just a bunch of crazy motherfuckers.
Fuck. Well, Dan, this brings us on to you, my friend.
Yes.
Had quite a few good couple weeks, mate. Tell us about the progress. What's been happening?
Well, I'm going to be honest. I kind of lied earlier. I don't have heaps of progress. But I'm about to have heaps of progress.
Nice. Nice.
So the other night I had Jack Keach, friend.
Yes. I'm
Gianluca knows him from AFT.
You went to the
just
screening as well.
Yeah. So he had a screening for his
I'm
short.
following him on Insta. He did The Father.
Yeah, The Father,
right.
which is his proof of concept short film.
Yep.
It's pretty cool. It's sort of like an Australian Sicario.
Nice.
It's about this like two female police officers that are trying to take down this fanatic cult leader, and they want to arrest him. And then when they get to the location where he's hiding out, there's two other like special task force officers who want to kill him.
Sure.
They have two different agendas.
Nice.
And then it's like they're just in this battle to try and get to the leader first and take him down. So it's just sort of that unfolding. But it turned out really, really good. And it's been so good seeing, because I've known Jack for a few years now and I've seen all the different shorts he made throughout film school and whatnot. And just seeing him grow as a director and a creative. Also, because I was on set with him and I saw...
AFT2?
Yep. Johnny knows him as well.
Yeah, cool.
We should go and get coffee soon. I was saying to him, because I think he's been helping me out with my film that I'm working on now, and you're helping me out, so we'll probably do a meeting of some sort soon. But just seeing his film on a big screen and like seeing, because I always knew he had potential in film school, but it's like you're still learning at that point, and you don't know how to make things come together like perfectly. But seeing how he's refined his craft is so satisfying and makes me really happy as a friend of his.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
We
and
love that.
honestly, I feel the same about you. Like I haven't seen Ozma yet in full, but from what I've seen, I'm like, whoa, like Josh is really coming into his own as a creative. And that's super rewarding as a friend of yours.
I feel the exact same when I see you, Lockie, when I read Lockie's scripts, when I see Austin having progress on his films, and I see things getting made, and I can't wait for what you have coming up as well. So
it's such
I
good
feel you,
film,
mate. I feel you.
Yeah, but no, the past couple of weeks I've just been working a lot, and like I'm happy right now, so I don't want to try and like mess with that too much. You know what I mean?
Yourself?
Yeah, I don't want to pry into my mental psyche and be like, oh, you should be doing more, you should be doing this. Because it's like, I think we take our mental health for granted sometimes, you know? We always try to think of how we can be better and stuff. And right now I'm happy, and I'm like, I'm just going to take my time and
balance.
earn a bit of money and, you know, see my friends, the people I love, care about, and just be happy for a bit. But I do, going to this screening and then speaking to other people who are in the industry doing things, I was like, I was like, oh, I'm a little rusty at the moment. And I want to get back into the scene.
Was that self-funded, The Father?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Right.
I think he did a Kickstarter campaign as well. Got a bit off that, but mostly
that's one way you can get a bit of money.
True.
A little
Except you can
Kickstarter.
only do that a couple times.
Yeah, because your friends get sick of donating.
Yeah. Bro, I've done
Fuck
crowdfunding
off.
now twice, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I've
That's it,
exercised
yeah.
that now.
Yeah.
Now the rest is just me, mate.
Yeah. But yeah, so me and Jack I said to him, look, I think I need an accountability partner because I'm sort of just getting sidetracked with other things in my life.
Sure.
And I need to start setting deadlines. And he was like, sure, we'll go for coffee next week.
Good.
And we'll just set some deadlines, like what you want to get done each month. And then we'll break it down into weeks, and then we can get things done. I'm like, amazing.
Good.
So yeah, I'm in a good place right now. I think over the next couple of weeks, I'm gonna start to really progress with the film. And I started looking at locations, and I want to look at actors with you as well. You suggested some people and some ideas.
You helping produce or something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that? Yeah, fair.
It's all up in the air right now.
Yeah,
a little
cool.
Bit, and I've also pushed back because I thought we'd shoot in like December, but I
I
think
think it's-
January is probably more feasible. At this point.
for sure, mate.
So I think once me and Jack work towards the deadlines and figure all that out, we
Jack
should-
producing?
Yeah, it's like you're sort of co-producing, Jack's sort of co-producing, and then I was gonna have another guy, but he's
Yeah, what happened to him?
I just haven't heard from him. I think he's busy with
Still,
life stuff, which
fair
is
enough.
fine. So
Yep,
I'm just gonna go ahead and do it on my own.
Good, mate. Yeah.
But yeah, no. So that's pretty much it on my end. Not too much else.
Yeah. No, right. Anything else on the feature? Nothing.
No. I think I went back and gave it a quick read the other day.
Yep.
Yeah, it's always interesting looking at something when you haven't looked at it for a
What are
while
your
through
thoughts?
fresh eyes. No, yeah. So
I know you're
I'm-
so critical
I'm
of
not
yourself,
good with
mate.
dialogue. Like,
Do you find it hard as well to like just read it and not edit it?
yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
bro.
big time.
100,
I sort of promised myself I wouldn't like try and edit it right now because I'm just not in the mind space. to
Especially for a
completely
feature.
redo it.
Especially for a feature. You get to
Yeah.
like page 15. He's like, I just want to change that.
Yeah, and,
Don't touch the fucking thing. Literally,
Exactly.
Like, you got to tie your hands.
and
behind
that's
your
why I
back.
had to promise myself that I just slam it out and write it even if it was trash. But it's like I look at it and there are scenes that are written that I'm like, oh, this is good, but then it's always the dialogue that I look at and I'm like, this
Dialogue
needs
is
work.
the
it's
hardest
so
part.
hard. It's so
Dialogue
hard.
is always the hardest part.
Yeah.
Hey guys, it's Dan from the editing lab here. We had an unfortunate technical issue. Josh decided to prematurely eject the micro SD card from the mixer, so the last 15 minutes or so of the interview got corrupted. So, we can all give thanks to Josh for that one. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You can catch us on YouTube and Spotify at the Pre-Production Meeting or the Pre-Prod Pod on Instagram. Thanks so much, guys. We'll catch up next week and fill you in on me and Josh's progress and movies that we've watched. Thanks so much, guys. Peace.